item, money item. Normally they say the amount of a meal. So whatever the amount of a meal is, how much you can go to Shalom Pizza and get a piece of pizza, whatever, $5, $7.
275.
275.
The whole five is in
15. So give me.
Monday, you buy it Monday and Tuesday.
But you have to go Monday.
Well, actually, it's good because Sunday is Purim. So if you give him on Sunday, he's gonna go Monday. He'll be. But this year Purim is on Sunday. So if you give him on Sunday, he can go to Monday and get it on Monday. So it'll be okay. Okay. Anyway, so again. Two poor persons. Now, if you give to a family, let's say it's a poor person and his son, it actually is two people. It's two separate people. Even if the son is, let's say, under bar mitzvah, so it was part of the. It's fine. It's two different people. But again, you try to give to as many as poor people as you can because this is the day that we are going to try to influence Hashem in chesed. We do chesed down here, Hashem does chesed upstairs. So the more chesed we do down here, the more chesed Hashem allows to come out upstairs. Okay? So, bringing baskets to your friends and to your... So people go extravagant. They go to everybody, 75 people. And the mitzvah is 2 items to 1 person. That's the mitzvah. 2 items to 1 person. A Coca-Cola and a Chumet, that's 2 items. It's 2 separate items. We like to make 2 foods.
It has to be misoides.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can have one Chumet.
So you can grape juice has to be almontage.
It doesn't have to be. You can have an apple and you can have a Coca-Cola. It's 2 items.
For $6?
No, there's 3 items that have to be.
I think it's
3 items that have to be.
Do it in brachos. So you have an eighth and you have
It has to be ready to eat at the soup.
right. Well, so here's the thing. So if you look in the Akut Yosef, you can actually be yotze by giving. Let's say you go to Acme or whatever, and you buy the guy a piece of meat. Okay, you're actually yotze. It's okay. However, if you bought him a chicken, no, they're in New York. So you didn't come for the challenge, you came for the shear. So.
Can you really? It's a basket for
It's good. So I'll go by fast. Don't worry.
I eat dinner yet.
Okay, ready? So anyway, if you bring a piece of chicken, if you bring a live chicken though, let's say you have a farm. You bring a guy a chicken, you're not yotze because you can't really eat that yet. Now let's say you bring a guy a chicken, you say okay, shecht it, and you'll eat it. So when he shechts it and it becomes let's say it's kosher, okay, so that will count. Once it becomes edible, meaning it doesn't have to be edible at that strictly that moment, but it is an item that can be eaten. But what happens if he shechts the chicken or let's say it's an animal, let's say they shecht the cow, and they find out that it's not kosher? It has a problem in it.
Get to sell to the goyim.
So that doesn't count as a shloch manot. Now another rule by the shloch manot.
But the rabbis, they can cut around that, right?
Again, it's not a kosher. It's not. We're not talking about kashrut now. We're just giving you examples. Okay. Anyway, so also there has to be a delivery and an acceptance. You have to actually go or have a shliach go take mashloch manot. If it's mashloch manot sitting on my doorstep, and say, listen, it's here. Come by and get it. If he never takes it or he doesn't receive it, no good. You don't count.
You need to give it specifically, or
You could have someone give it to him. You could have someone give it to him. Now, what happens if you give it to his son? Okay, let's say you knock on the door. Guy's sleeping. And the son takes it and he eats it. Or let's say he puts it away and he forgot about it. Now this guy doesn't know about it. You're not yotze. You didn't fulfill the obligation. Yeah. He has to know about it. Again, the idea of the Matanot Evonim, if you look in the Megillah, it's to induce a lot of camaraderie. We want to make the love. Bring everybody loving each other. Right? So if he doesn't know that you brought it to him.
They come up to you and they ask you for money, you just give it to them.
Yeah, that was a few. Yeah. So, well, everybody come to Amram.
You have to, right?
So
that's the only time that you don't check the credential of the guy you're coming for money. You have to give.
see,
Regardless.
knows.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
So anyway,
He's talking to himself. He's making sure it's going in.
so anyway, so again, so there has to be delivery, there has to be acceptance. Okay, now we'll get to the last 15 minutes or so. We'll get to the. So we covered 3 of the 4, right? We covered Megillah. Oh, money to the poor. We said, right? 2 poor people, 1 item, right? But again, try to do as much as you can.
2, you said 2 things.
2 poor people, 1 item. The mishloach manot is 2 items, 1 person. Okay, so 2 items, 1 person. Again,
This is a Sephardi halacha.
that's everybody halacha. Shulchan Aruch. So 2 items, 1 person is the mishloach manot. 1 item, 2 people.
Only Jewish.
Again, ish.
And the poor refer to a goy.
No,
It has to be Jewish.
it's Jewish. Now the poor
So
person,
how you know if the poor?
you know,
I'm poor
Give it to the
also.
rabbis.
the rabbis know. There's,
No,
well, if
it's
the
talking
person is
about
poor,
the
no, if a
Jewish
person is poor, if a person is poor,
They standing
yeah.
on like Bustleton with their cup.
No. That's
I'll
it.
be out there.
No, look, there are people who can't. There are people that cannot pay their bills and stuff. It's uneven.
I was in Muncie the time during Purim. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, people on the streets, and I just standing. I throw over there. I throw everywhere. Like everybody with the cup
You're right,
outside.
you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
Children.
In Israel, that was the thing.
Yeah.
The money to everybody.
yeah. Put it out.
Making day.
Yeah.
This is blankets.
Again, as much as you can. If you, you say, well, I don't got nothing left. There's never a halakha that says in tzedakah that you have to make yourself poor. You don't make yourself poor for the right. You have. Let's say in a day you know I got $50 to give out, so you give out $50 accordingly. Okay. Anyway, so the last mitzvah of the day is going to be the su'udah. Now, a person should not eat the su'udah before he finishes the other mitzvot. That means wake up in the morning, finish the Megillah, finish the davening, finish your mishloach manot. Sunday morning, finish everything, and then sit down and start the meal. Okay. So now, just a few items that. Another thing is don't forget to add al hanisim. Right, we're going to say al hanisim. Now again, just as a general rule, if a person forgets to say al hanisim, if a person is davening and he forgets to say al hanisim, right, in the middle of davening, right, he said modim, he forgot to say al hanisim, he starts to say v'al kulam, he doesn't get, if he gets to the words Baruch Atah Hashem and he continues,
Can he stop and goes back? And
no, so if he says Baruch Atah Hashem, that's it. What he has to do, he continues the rest of the tefillah, and then after Sim Shalom, he can add back Modim Anachnu Lach, bring in the Anisim. Now again, but if he remembers before he says Baruch Atah and he doesn't finish the Baruch Atah Hashem, he remembers before he's saying Baruch Atah, Anisim, I didn't say Anisim. So then he goes back to Anisim, adds it, and continues the rest of the bracha. Okay, similar thing in Birkat Hamazon. Okay, Birkat Hamazon also is to say Al Nisim. So if he remembers before the bracha, of course, again that's the rule. If he remembers before he says Ata Hashem, then he's going to say the Al Nisim. If he remembers afterwards, so in the davening I told you he adds after the Sim Shalom, he's going to add it in. Here in the Birkat Hamazon, he'll add it in the Harachamans. Okay, so when he says Harachaman, he will add a Harachaman for the Al Nisim. Okay, now. Just another general rule. Let's say a person is eating. Let's say he starts the Su'udah. You should start the Su'udah when it's still day. Some people have the false custom of starting the Su'udah at like 7:30. And they think it's dinner time. It's not a dinner. The whole point is to be during the day is to have the Su'udah. So, okay. So anyway,
12 o'clock.
12, 1, 2. Sunday, yeah. 12, 1, 2. You know, not at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night when people are going to sleep already. That's not a Su'udah. Okay. So let's say a person starts at, let's say, 1 o'clock. Okay, he starts and then he's got the Su'udah is going. And he's drinking, they're singing, they're going. It's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. You know, he says, oh, you know what? We're going to, mincha, let's do mincha. So they stop in the middle, they do mincha. Okay, they're coming back to Su'udah. They're eating, they're continue. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9, it's already into the nighttime now, 10 o'clock. Now it's already the next day. And the question becomes, when they finally finish, and they're going to say the Birkat Hamazon, no, do they say Al Anisim or not?
Forget.
Because what? It's the next day already.
It's only eating. How about drinking?
Drinking also, we'll get to the drinking. So, do they say the Al Anisim or they don't say Al Anisim? So, Halacha says that they do say the Al Anisim, even though it's the nighttime, it's the next day. That's the same Halacha that would be if you would start, let's say, your third meal on Shabbat at the regular time, and let's say you have a long third meal, and it continues to like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and you finally finish the third meal. Even though it's Motzei Shabbat, you still say the passage for Shabbat. Okay, so that's the general halacha. Okay.
I'm good.
So now, when we're starting the Seudah, we're going to now go a little bit of a primer in not all of the ideas of the Seudah, but the Seudah is one of the most important parts of the Purim, right? Because we know that we sinned with food, and we're going to now change it with food. Now, just as a background information, Haman, right? Haman. Well, Haman, right? The Torah says Haman. Where do you know? Where do you find Haman's name in the Torah? Right? So it's actually in Sefer Bereshit. It's one of the. It's the first sin. Hashem says, "Did you eat from the tree that I told you?" So the words in Hebrew, "Did you eat from the tree?" From the tree is called Hamin Ha'etz. Haman. Hamin Ha'etz is Haman. So Haman has some sort of a connection, and again, of course, incidentally, he gets hung on a tree, right? By no coincidence, right? I mean, it's okay. So in the end, we end up hanging him on the tree, but he has some connection to this tree. Haman is the example, is the epitome of the sin of the tree. What was the sin of the tree? Well, that we ate. We ate something, right? So the Gemara brings down, Meshachai brings down the Hot Shabbat, that it's Chagat. Maybe you heard of Chagat? Chagat is Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferet. Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferet, right? But actually, it's also the Rashi Devot of Chita, which is wheat, Gefen, which is grapes, and Te'ena, which are dates. Because there's a machloket in the Gemara, which one was it? Some say it was a Chita, it was wheat. Some say it was a Gefen, some say it was a wine, and some say it was a Te'ena, it was dates. And some say even it was an etrog. But yeah, so but be that as it may, right? So that's one of the reasons why we use the gefen, we use the wine, we use the chita.
That's why you use it for Shabbat also.
For Shabbat, right. So Haman is the idea of indulging in physicality, right? He ate from the tree. Again, whatever that means, we'll say that for different discussion, and but he ate from the tree. He went against Hashem's will. Again, the idea of eating is always an example to us, but of a person he just can't control himself. Why is that? Because the question is, when a person starts to eat, he might be eating because he's hungry, but 9 times out of 10, by the time he's done eating, he's so overfull he cannot move. So what changed between when he started to eat and when he ended? His ego. He said, "Oh, I gotta have this. I gotta have this." His eye was bigger than what his stomach was. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. This is the idea that if a person is in physicality, he feels that all physicality he has to have it. Has to have it. I must have this. But the stomach of the person is just this big. Shlomo HaMelech says, "Go to an ant, and you become wise." Right. So what do? He says, an ant is this big, and he keeps storing kernels of wheat. And so they went to ask the ant, how long do you live? He says, 6 months. He says, then what do you need all this wheat for? It's wheat that a person couldn't eat. It's because maybe I will live longer than the 6 months. Okay, and if you would live longer than 6 months, how much could you eat? So we don't learn from the smartness of the ant. We learn from his desire of gathering because he anticipates that perhaps he won't have enough. Hashem created the physicality. Hashem gave everything to the person. He will give it to the person enough. Some people say, I got to put everything on the plate.